Yay. Day
Welcome.
3.
Day 3 of our 10-day challenge. Oh my goodness. It has, whenever we go lively, we have a little talk and then we just go with the flow. And I think that's been years of just learning it to work with each other, with our own energy and trusting that intuition. How do you feel like, when we go live in these spaces when it's just that intuitive piece that just gets to be expressed in the moment?
I love it because it's real. It doesn't feel like I have to perform or that there's any type of agenda. It's just whatever comes out is natural, whatever comes out is meant to be heard. And like, that's just beautiful. I know that there's been times where I've gone to go live on my own. It's like, well, what am I going to talk about? And I've got to have something specific to say or to have an agenda, so to say. And it's it's daunting. It feels wrong in the body. It doesn't feel authentic. And we've done this in a couple of our podcasts where it's like, we're going to talk about this, this, and this. And it just doesn't work. Like, literally, it stops recording. And like, we've had so many tech errors and things like that on those particular moments. It's like, no, we've got to go back to being authentic and just sharing what is true in the moment, what's coming up. And it's actually funny that you asked me this question, because before we hopped on, I was like, how do we just make it more real? Like, just really, like, what's showing up today? Because it does look like we're always put together. We've always got something intelligent to say, and really deep down inside, it's not that way. I know yesterday I felt awful, and you wouldn't know it on
No,
camera. And I
no.
guess that's part of almost the illusion of being online. Like, I know that there's a switch that happens. It's like, yep, we're going live and we're on, and this is what we're going to talk about, and we want to promote our products. But really, like, that's not life. Life isn't
No.
always fancy and great and good. And it's nice to be able to reflect on that, and to share, like, I wasn't good yesterday. And I know for a lot of people, like, it's like, well, oh yeah, it's easy. You're always happy. You're always, your life is positive and put together. But for me, it's not. Like, I'm living week to week. We've spoken about um, dropping the business and like closing off because it hasn't been as successful as we hoped. We haven't had the following that we wanted and aimed for and thought was potentially possible. And that gets you down. It really does. And it's really hard to stay positive all of the time and to keep that in. And like we spoke about yesterday, the health, it shows up. It shows up really bad. I've had a massive headache, didn't sleep well. And it's like, why? Why is this happening? Okay, I'm not listening to myself. I'm not really truly being authentic. I'm pretending I'm fine when I'm not. And that's being held within my body. So, yeah, yesterday I was not good, and I'm fine in admitting that and being vulnerable and just sharing the honest truth. Like, yesterday sucked.
Yeah. And it's interesting because this has been a theme this week in other group spaces I've been in. It's like acknowledging that it's like, yes. And what we have achieved in 2 years has been phenomenal, with the amount of people we've connected, the abundance of energy, flow, connections, opportunities, which I think is beautiful. And the intuitive depth that has come from our own journeys. And we were talking about this the other week offline about, well, what is success? And the monetary part of it is important, right? And it's not the end of the world. We are still living and breathing, and spirit, the divine, keeps saying, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And
I feel like
compound
I do this one.
and it's like this paradox of, you know, um, if you can be with nothing, then you
Mm.
can start something, and that something can then escalate and bring momentum to changing, you know, um, either one person at a time or groups of people or communities. And I know this is what drives us because we've done this before. either in parts of our lives, in school spaces and other spaces, but also past lives as well. We know this because we've spoken about it and we felt it, and that's our truth. And yet we're still here in this life, you know, being in 3D, having families, having relationships with friends, partners, children, all kinds of learnings of how to be in that union of self and with others and in community. And that was one of the cards you pulled up earlier about union. And there has been so much deep learning. And yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, we talked about legacy, the hard yards of starting your own business and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey. Heard so many entrepreneurs talking about when you leave the matrix or the mainstream working systems, and it's just you all in for you and the people that you're choosing to work with. You face so many triggers, so many parts of yourself, society, family pieces that come up that are challenging and triggering and hard. And there's been days where both Flea and I have cried together separately, come to each other, and it's not fun. And at the same time, it is very enriching. I do see how enriching it is in the depth
Mm.
of who we get to be as humans, and knowing that it is a choice. We have chosen this path, and we still keep choosing to do the things because something keeps calling us forward. It's like following those breadcrumbs where it's like, okay, if we talk about it, surrender, release, whatever, feel the feels, let it go, and then something pops up, whether it's a person or an opportunity or an email or someone making a beautiful comment, and you're like, oh, okay, thank you, universe. But can we have more of that, please? Can we have some more of that to receive? And that's probably the reason why we keep sharing like this authentically in the moment. Um, because I feel like people need to see the raw side. Like, I don't show up with makeup on, but maybe 50% of the time, other 50%, yeah, I look pretty and do all the things. But I'm, like I said, I think in the first live of the challenge, like, I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm here. I feel like I said those words yesterday in a personal dilemma. I'm like, I'm here. I'm right here. I'm doing the things. I'm present here now. Can you see this? This is showing up. This is being present. And yet, like you said about relationships, it's still a choice whether people around you get to see that or feel that, or feel safe enough to open more to these shifts that feel so micro at times. And that can be really hard when you're in relationship with people, whether it's business or intimate or whatever. What have you noticed with your shifts in these growth spurts of, you know, I suppose that spiritual evolution that you felt particularly in the last year? Because some of them have been so micro but so profound. And it's that little moment of decision making, that little moment of choice and that recognition of like, actually, that has shifted everything. And it didn't have to be like a big, like, truck in the face type of thing.
Oh, the biggest one would be how I handle conflict. I used to run from it, and very much I would dive into the I've got to fix this. I have to do something, and that a little bit of the blame game. So it's like, oh, there's a reason for this. This has to be that person's fault or this person's fault or something like that. That has definitely shifted now. So a lot of the things that have changed for me personally was really looking at myself and, okay, well, what is this showing me about myself, and what is it teaching me in the moment that really needs to be let go or to look into in a different way. So that has been the beautiful thing. So like you said, we haven't not been abundant in the wealth of knowledge and creation and things that we have put together. Um, I think I said this at the beginning of the year. It's like, well, I feel like I did all of that because I needed it. And a lot of that was the mentality. It's like I didn't have the wealth to be able to go out and pay somebody to get the help. I couldn't go see a therapist or any of those type of things. So a lot of it was really, well, how do I get the support I need, and how can I leverage what I know I can do to be able to create it for myself. So in that creation, like I'm very good with tech. I know how to put things together. I know how to see into other people's problems, and a lot of the time that there is the healing I need. It's like, oh, okay, Marie's going through this. I actually see that in myself. I see some of the actions and the behaviors, and it's like, okay, well, if I'm noticing it in you and how you handle it, how then can I apply these different strategies to improve what's deep down wrong for me? The biggest one at the moment, though, is that valuing yourself and your time, because we are in a 3D world and we do need money, and a lot of the self-love and the things that we want to be able to live in, the joy of life, that costs. And it's great when we can create it for ourselves, but some things we just need to be able to purchase. And what I'm finding is the big conflict at the moment is not being able to prove my worth financially. It's like, okay, well, everybody wants my services for free. Oh no, I'm not going to pay you. Oh no, that's too much. Oh, you're asking a lot. And it's like, but am I? Am I really asking a lot for what I give and what I gift? And there
Mm.
has to come a point, because I know that there are people out there that charge a hell of a lot more than me, that have multiple clients and are making multiple millions of dollars. And are they really more valuable? Do they really have more information or more skill than I do? I don't
Mm.
believe so.
Yeah.
In that, it lies that internal conflict, because I know as someone that couldn't afford it, there's this pity part of me. It's like, well, if I can't afford it, there's other people that can't afford it. But the thing is, if I'm not charging my worth, I can't give back. If I can't, and I guess the main thing for me today in bringing this up was, we're on Vimeo right now. This is a platform we love. We've got all of our gatherings, all of our meetings, all of our lives stored on here, and it's due for renewal, and we can't pay for that. So every time I jump on here, it's a reminder: your series, your subscription is going to end, and you're going to lose everything. And it's like, wow, how do I get that? How do I leverage what I know, what I can do, to be able to keep the things that really are the backbone of Awæcnian? And that's where the conflict starts to arise. It's like, well, if I can't keep this, then I can't provide the services that I need and other people
Mm.
need.
I'm
That's
so
a
glad you're
dilemma.
bringing this up because, in one of the spaces, that I've been supporting with entrepreneurs like us, this conflict comes up so often. And we've been working a lot on sales. And some people hear sales and go, ugh. But then how do you make it authentic? How do you master your voice, your expression in an authentic way where it becomes magnetic? And you know, we're being so transparent here. I wanted to share like some of the strategies that we've been sold on versus what actually works in these industries of coaching, mentoring. Like, we're offering a package right now for 3 months for $300. Like that is so affordable. And like this is the part of ourselves that wants to meet those that are willing to do the work at an affordable price. Because I know when I first got into having, I ended up having 3 coaches in the beginning. I had 3 feminine coaches I never thought I would have. I paid so much for US. I had 2 in Australia that I never thought would ever happen. I don't know how I did it, but it was something in them that I was like, there is something I need to learn from their experience, their wisdom, their holding, their energy. And I found a way. And it was through payment plans and it was through bite sized pieces and also being honest. Like, some months I couldn't pay, but then I found a way in the next month where it could balance out or it got extended out. And it was just by me being transparent, open communication, because those mentors could see my heart and see I was hungry for it and dedicated and showing up. And I found a way to pay it off. And that was one way that got me into this door of feeling the worthiness of what then I get to gift with all the tools and the skills. So, I was on a call this week where it was like, Marie, if someone asks you, tell them you cost 16,000 for a session with you. I'm like, okay, yes. And at the moment, my body is saying no because I can't even hold space for my own family and myself at the moment. So when I do get to that moment, then yes. And this is like, Flea and I, we're like worth gold, such gold, And at that level, when people talk about the next level, leveling up, it's like when you reach this evolutionary stage of financial growth and receivership, because you get to hold more in your body, your vessel, and whatever you create, you can then gift more to people around you in regards to supporting other businesses that are starting out, perhaps. And this is the philanthropic side. Like a lot of the times with our education, our understanding, our life experience, we know what it's like to come from the dirt, basically. And so I see people and companies and small businesses that start from scratch. And I know that when I can hold that wealth, not only in my own heart, but in the vessel and the physical money that's coming through, I know that I can support, or we can support, or my other businesses can support other smaller businesses that feel aligned and are doing great work for communities. And there needs to be more millionaires, everyday millionaires like us. And I'm saying it in the present tense because we are. And so should you, because it's about living now in the present. There needs to be more and more of us with good hearts that will give back to the world, to be of service. But you've got to be able to shift these narratives and these stories of not good enough, not worthy, blah, 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 all that crap that we go through, so that you can hold more in your heart in the spaciousness of how big you are. We're bigger than the universe. We're so big, If we can feel that in our physical bodies now, then abundance can come in many forms, and the monetary side is just the byproduct, And I've said to a few people, and some people may think I'm very audacious or egoic or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be bold enough to say I'm going to hold trillions through whatever I do. My businesses, whatever I touch turns to gold, because I want to help the world. And I want to have a good life for my family and the people that I get to work with. And I feel like we don't hear that honesty and that authenticity enough of real people claiming that part of themselves. Because I want to help people now. We've got friends in Africa and people here that want to help people in third world countries like Asia, Africa. Imagine how fertile the land of Africa can be if there was money put into agriculture in the land and training the people to value their gold in their soil to make it fertile and thriving, so then the people in those places can thrive. Imagine the waterways in the Philippines and Vietnam like cleared up so they can have fresh, produce flowing through again. Even here in Brisbane, right? Our river is so brown. What if we put that money into not only economy, but the people that lead and drive those movements to do good for the world? And it's finding those moments, those resources. Are beautiful Marcy in Africa is listening in on Instagram. We met him, Flea, you met Marcy first through Let's Shine, and then he's been on some of our summits, but he wants to support young entrepreneurs in his country. to then get them out of the mindset, give them prosperity, sense of purpose, pride, to then give back to their families and their communities. And this is the piece about when you meet a leader, you meet a mentor, a coach, someone like us that you're like, wow, I really love what you're doing. How do I get to that level of just deep authenticity, that owning your courage and vulnerability, and step into that next part of who you are? We've got the tools to do that. And
Mm.
when people do coaching packages and things like that, I'm going to share these models. Like when you look at the the funneling systems, when you start working one on one with some of those people that are making it, they charge something anywhere from like 10 to 20,000 per session, and people pay that because they've got something that is working. It's like, how do they do that? Then, as you filter down, people have free. We've got so many amazing free gifts. And yes, I've chosen anything that I absorb for free, I am eating up. And because I choose to absorb that knowledge and those gifts, because it is a gift. And we have so many gifts. If you are choosing to grow, then eat it all up, nourish yourself with it. If you want to go the next level, well, okay, how do I do that bit? Then the beautiful Awæcnian pillar, the awareness pillar that we've got on offer, is the next step for you. That's $100 a month. Like I broke it down, $25 a week. You get two of us. You break that in half. How much is that valued worth? You are getting so much value. And we chose to drop it down. This was a 3K package. And we did choose to meet people where they're at because we know what it's like. And we also know our value, that if people want to work with us, it is going to, you better get in now, guys. I'm telling you, this, and, this is the thing that happens when people start rising into their worth, because this part of self and the monetary value doesn't actually become a thing anymore. It's another level of understanding self that is possible and easeful,
Mm.
and you find a way. And it's those pieces of knowing those parts of our past selves and knowing what is the future, acknowledging, taking ownership, aligning, and then you bring that alignment of the future self into the now. And it may happen only in micro moments to start with. Moments like now where you're like, oh, I feel this. Yes. You keep coming back to like, let's bring that into the now. Even when you have hard moments and you argue with your partner, and in that moment it feels yucky, or you're having a blow up with your teenager or whatever, how do you come back to your nervous system, feel the moments, and then bring back to your heart, like, okay, we're going to address this as we go, but also know everything's going to be okay. Or is it is
Mm.
as it is. That's my little tangent.
Oh, I'd love to jump back into those some of those models that are out there, because this is where I feel, and the devil card was there for a reason, reminding me like what is draining you. And I invested in one of those models. I've done the free one, so my trauma informed coaching practice. Like that was a certified course. That was a free course, but it was the most valuable course that I've done. Like I just absolutely loved it. It was reflective of myself, of how I could heal others, noticing, those little synchronicities that each person sort of possesses. And it's really showing that all of us are traumatized, and we're traumatized by society. And that's what drains me the most, is these models where they're selling you. And I'm offering my service of me. And I was talking to a person yesterday and just mentioned, I started roller skating at 34. I ended up becoming a national champion. So as a master's, it was a personal victory for me. I wasn't raised in an environment where I could do dance or any of the creative sort of athletic sports or any of that growing up. So as an adult, I was like, wow, this is an opportunity as an adult to live out a childhood fantasy. And I didn't think much of it. I had an ex-husband that was like, oh yeah, but you only won because you were old and there was only 3 people in it and all of this. And it's like, no, hang on a sec. I won far more just by saying yes to me. And that was the difference. At 34, most people wouldn't even put on a pair of skates, let alone jump and spin and want to do all of that. My own coach used to say, you're a mother, you've got a family. If you break your leg, you know what's going to happen. I'm like, if I break my leg, I break my leg. I'm like, this is the same woman that actually like broke a wrist twice falling downstairs. And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't broken anything on roller skates as yet, so I'll take it as it comes. And I loved the irony in that because it's like, no, you can't stop a dream. Once the passion is there, you're driven. And like a lot of people wouldn't know this about me. And it's very hard to sell me when I have a wealth of knowledge in so many different areas, like my life skills, the trauma that I know of, the physical energy, and even just health services. Like I've worked in nearly every single industry. I'm a qualified teacher and I've started at early childhood. I've gone all the way up to TAFE training. Like it's phenomenal what we can do when we desire it. And that there is what I offer. It's like, how do we find the desire to drive our will and keep us going? And a lot of the time it's just needing support, needing someone there that believes in us, that's not going to tell us, oh, you only won because you were old. Because that made me want to give up. It was like, oh, yeah, true. Like, I don't really want to share this victory. I don't really want to show people that I won a medal. I won a medal in the national championships for Australia. Like, I could have gone and I could have, if I had the money at the time, I could have made my way into the Australasia championships. So that's being a representative of our country, not just the state. And that is phenomenal. At 34, to have never done anything, like I ended up coaching and making costumes and all sorts of things to fund this sport. But it's something most people never dream of, that, oh, no, I'm old now, I've got to give up on my dreams. I can't do that. That's childish. That's what we do for our kids. And I did live through my kids a little bit. And the more that I did that, the more I realized, well, hang on a sec, who says just because we get older that we have to give up on those passions, that we have to behave so responsibly that we give up on our heart and our joy? That there is what this course is about. It's hard work, really shifting through the draining shit of society and find the person that you really want to be. And the reason I gave up teaching was because I just heard the reflections in the kids. I don't have any hopes or dreams, miss. Oh, if I'm lucky, I'll get a job, where my dad works. Or if I'm even alive after 30, I will see what happens then. But there was no aspiration. And I went, wow, as a teenager, like I just spent my whole entire life going, I can't wait to get older. I can't wait to experience these things, to finally get myself somewhere where I have the freedom to be me. And the more I got older, the more that was sort of stripped away from me. It's like, no, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to provide here. And it's like, but why? If I'm going to work hard every single day of my life, then there has to be a goal or an ambition to work towards. Otherwise, you're left feeling really drained. And that's what has happened to me over the last couple of years. It's like, well, what am I working for? If nobody wants this service that we're providing, if nobody is after the same support and genuine care, the authenticity that is so heart-led that the two of us offer, then maybe the world doesn't want to change. And that's okay. And I'm happy to give up and say, that's fine. I'll take care of me. I'll find my goals, my passions, and I'll continue to be the version of me that I want. I'm not going to sell people on that. You have to want it. You have to want to go further. You have to want to reclaim yourself and to really change the world, because that's what we want. We want to change the lack mindset, because those beautiful people that are over in Africa and the support that they're trying to do, they're doing that so that they can remove the poverty and the toxicity the scams and the things that are available for them and provide new ways. And the thing is, we can do this when we're together. We can take old buildings and we can restructure them into hubs where we're learning, sharing, growing together. Like, there's nothing to say that, we can't offer support but also get a financial gain. Like, this is where the business models are lacking. They don't teach us that through every opportunity, every creation, there's always a possibility for growth and financial success.
Mm.
Now, I've done that through artwork. If I hadn't have done this and we hadn't come together, I wouldn't have shown you my artwork, and that's something I kept private, and it wouldn't have ended up in a studio and selling 2 pieces. That's my dream. That's my passion. It's not something I'm pumped up in myself. It's not something I would have ever thought could make me money. And that's the beautiful thing here, is when we are releasing the toxic cycles of society of, this is the way it has to be, these are the jobs I have to have, this is what I was taught, it's the way it's always been. We get to shift that into okay, well, this is something for a reason. The not growing is to teach me to be more independent and believe in myself. And that there is something far greater than any wealth I could get, because I know I'm the type of person that if I can't prove it, I don't believe it. So I've worked through these. Okay, I've worked through the shadows. I can prove that these techniques work, that I can regulate myself and bring myself from a really high chaotic place back down to baseline, back into harmony and into self-reflection. So, that's what I wanted to share here. Like, it will take a lifetime to know and all of my experiences. I'm not going to sell myself as a product, because working with me means that you're working for you.
Yes.
And same goes with you, Marie, because, if you hadn't have shared your expertise and your experiences through those models that you had worked through, we wouldn't have come to the understanding, no, that doesn't work for us. We're not going to put and sell and, buy this and, this course offering. That's draining. Because all you do is you end up inviting in people that actually don't want to be there.
Yeah. Oh, and we've worked with those people before that have big hearts, but the drive isn't there. And it's a learning. And I think you've said that so beautifully. And interesting with me is, like, I've always been like, I don't have to prove it first. I just believe it and have faith and do it, and then trust the end product, and the feeling of what it's going to be is going to be better than what I thought it was. And then my proof is in the pudding at the end, which is a hard thing to sell. But I've done it my whole life, from musicals, anything I create. It's like putting the idea out there, trusting the process, muddling things along the way, refining, mastering things, getting people involved, and the end product is beautiful. And this is how I see the world and what we're creating. The end product is beautiful. Whatever you create is going to be magic. I can't prove that to anyone other than you going through the process and feeling it yourself. And I love that part about me, because it is magical, unicorn-like, ludicrous, crazy, and people love that and get triggered by that. And that's okay, because that's just part of who I am, and it gets to be part of their experience of me as well. So I'm here for the long haul. We're here playing chess, not checkers. So come and join us in the long game if you're a long game player, and just come and try it out. We've mentioned it before. The link will be in our bio. Just come and join us at www.Awæcnian and type in co-create to claim that beautiful offer. And we look forward to seeing you on the other side and seeing you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.